Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court. As is customary, I'd like to open our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Today, I've asked one of our former employees, Rodney Dix, with us today, and I've asked him if he would open us up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and call this meeting to order, and the first item then on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. You've all received a copy of those. Any suggestions, or we'll entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second. Motion and second to accept the minutes as provided. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda then will be a presentation from Pulaski County Conservation District. I've got a couple of gentlemen with us today who would like to speak to us.
Good morning. I'm John Burnett with the Pulaski County Conservation District, Buck Creek Watershed Coordinator there. And there continues to be conservation needs across our county. We've put a lot of conservation on the ground on private land since our last update. And also we've had the opportunity to work on some public land projects with Mr. Turpin and Mr. Wilden. And you can see more about what we've been doing in our annual plan of work. I'll pass those around if anyone needs one. Posters here. But I'm just going to touch on some highlights related to those programs in that plan of work. The County Agriculture Investment Program, we just recently completed the last round of it with 255 approved applicants for $285,000 going out to those. That program is 50-50, so that's going to put nearly $600,000 out into our local economy. Also, the state cost share program just received 23 approved applicants back in January for $190,000. And also in the Buck Creek, mainly upper Buck Creek area, been working Mississippi River Basin Initiative Program. Those are federal dollars. We've enrolled just over 1,000 acres for cover crops. So that will be about $40,000 per year on a 3-year deal in that upper Buck area. Also, in the Brushy Creek area, there's an EPA 319 grant we've been working on to do some best management practice implementation. And also, education is an ongoing thing we try to do for elementary kids up through the high school age, and also adult programs. We've been doing the science trailer through Kentucky Department of Ag and bring that down to some schools, but this year we're going to take a different approach and do a county-wide program for all the 6th graders in the county and bring them to us. We're going to hold that April 19th down at the Center for Rural Development. That'll be a one-day event and try to be a little more cost-effective, and also at the same time reach out to more students. And hopefully it'll go really well, and we can make this an annual event so we're getting all the kids as they come up to 6th grade. And also, we do our annual Farm Field Day. We partner with the Cooperative Extension Service and Pulaski County Cattlemen's to put that on. Last year it was at Adkins Farm. We had a little over 150 people in attendance there, and we try to do some educational little stops around the farm and kind of show what we've been doing and what folks can do on their farm to put conservation on the ground. And if you want to mark your calendars, August 3rd is our annual field day this year, and it'll be in Mr. Maxey's district. So, does anyone have any questions for me?
Where will that take place at?
That will actually be at David and Cheryl Burnett's farm. And if anyone would like to volunteer to host the field day in upcoming years, we've been having a little bit of trouble finding people because it's a lot of work, honestly, to get things, fence rows cleaned and everything mowed and get ready for one of those. But if anyone would like to host the field day in upcoming years, we'd be happy to entertain that.
Parker's Mill Road, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was the date on that again?
August 3rd.
Thank you.
Is that down where they live?
It is, yeah. I'll turn it over to Rodney.
It's good to see you folks. I'll start out with a little story. Most of you know I like a good story. Last Monday, went to Louisville. Trump was up there, get ready to leave, and two Secret Service guys came out and said, "We need to talk to you." Martin, you know when two Secret Service fellas get, you don't ask too many questions. They took back there. I said, "What is it?" And they said, "The president wants to talk to you." And I thought, yeah, sure. So we get back there, and he comes out. Now, you know, President Trump has nice looking hair. And he looked at me, and I said, "Well, why would you single me out of 23,000 people here?" He said, "Who's your barber?" He said, "You got the best looking hair of anybody in the building." I'll touch on what John said. First, I want to give thanks to Martin. As a district, anytime that we have any questions of anything, whether it be legal or which direction we need to take, we call his office, and he's never failed us, and we appreciate that. You know, as I've said in years past, we're here that we bridge a gap. We continue, and I use the term "we" because it's not one particular person over there. There is not a table that, when it comes to Kentucky agriculture, that when it sits down at the table, Pulaski County is not represented and has a spot in. That does not no credit to me. It's a credit to those folks and the people that I'm humbly served with over there. There is not a program, I don't think, that this court supports that you can look back over the years and say that has not got a whole lot more out of it than they've put in it. For every dollar that John was mentioning that spread across Pulaski County, it generates $7 in return. And that you take with the CAPE program and programs that are funded through NRCS with a 50-50 cost share, that's a whole lot of money that goes back into retail farm business, and not just that, but other businesses across Pulaski County. We have absorbed some cuts like you all have through the federal government, through the state government. You've got a budget this year. We want you to look at that. We certainly would appreciate some help, which, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people stands at this podium and ask for the same thing. But again, I think that you'll see over years that it's the best money that you've spent. If at some point in time we need to sit down and talk with it, we'd be more than willing and be glad to. I will close by saying thank you for your support and continued support. And if there's anything we can do to answer any questions or whatever, why, just call on us.
Who is the barber?
Him?
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
I go out there and pay $10 for a $2 haircut. Went and got one.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay, let's bring it back in here.
I'd like to say something, Judge.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I appreciate what you guys do for farmers. I know as a former ag teacher, I see a lot that you do, and I know we've even used some of your equipment with what we do here, and we appreciate that. You've got probably the best equipment out there in any
We've
group
got
in
more
the
rental
state.
equipment than any other conservation district in the state.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Next item on the agenda then is old business. I don't see any old business we need to discuss today. We'll move on to our new business. We've got a few things. We've got the Sheriff's Department is here to present excess fees to the court.
Are you to me already, Judge?
Well, that's where they put you in the
A
agenda.
check for us,
so-
we want it.
If you bring a check, you get moved up in line, is that it? I do have a check this morning for the court. We have reconciled all of our accounts for the year, finished reconciling the accounts. We had a total of $182,000, $124.67 in excess total fees for the year. Of course, we remitted 100,000 of those as soon as we could back 1st of January, and I have a check here today for $82,124.67. We came in under budget this year. At our total budget, we came under $89,252 and change. So I have this to present to, I guess, the treasurer. Is that correct?
The treasurer will take it.
Okay. And thank you all also for
That's
your.
awesome.
We need a
Thanks,
motion to
Greg.
receive that. We don't-
I move we accept it.
Motion,
Second.
a second to accept these excess fees. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. And I do want to say something, and this is a credit to the sheriff and to Miss Linda. Last week, when I was at Treasurers Conference, of course, always topic is excess fees. And it seems like no one receives excess fees like we do. I mean, they were talking, they were excited about getting $2,500. And I said, you don't even want to know what we get.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much.
I think the last 2 years, just off the top of my head, I think we've remitted $357,000 from the sheriff's office. back
Sounds
into
about
the
right.
general fund.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next item then on the agenda will be the reappointment and new seasonal employees to work at the park. If I can find that, I had it here. Do I need to do these individually or just? I
think
got
you
two, three new ones and three reappointments.
You can go through the names if you want. I'd probably do the new ones separately.
Appointments separate.
I'd like to suggest that we would reappoint Russell Lovelace for seasonal staff maintenance, and we would reappoint Alexis Cox and Kaylin Coomer as seasonal staff at the park. They worked in our country store there. So those would be reappointments.
Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then we've got three new appointments. First one would be Rose Walters. She'll be working in our country store. And then we've got Tanner Brown and Kim Norfleet. Seasonal staff.
Do those all together?
Three together. Unless you have an unless somebody has an objection to one of them.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do we need a start date on those? Salary's $10 an hour.
Start date would be as soon as we can.
Immediately, as soon as possible. Can we put that?
We're open for business now. We're busy, so we can get them done their work.
What about the security down there? Was we gonna appoint somebody or?
But we have been contracting with Mike Wallace. And he's-
We need to reappoint that.
Is that a reappointment? Is that
That
what
should
we
be
need
a
to do on
reappointment,
that?
yes.
You're gonna hire him or pay him to do that.
Motion.
Mike Wallace.
To reappoint Mike Wallace as security.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
No.
We have a split vote. Let's go ahead and take a roll call, please.
Wilson,
Yes.
Turpin,
No.
Wilden,
Yes.
Maxey,
Yes.
Strunk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda then, I've got, I received a request from Brett Williams. He's a certified electrical inspector that was wanting to have permission to do inspections in Pulaski County. He does have his electrical inspector's license and his insurance declarations here in order. His home is in Anvil, which I guess is Casey, right, next door, is that where?
Jackson, it's Anvil.
Jackson, okay. Anyway, he is interested in coming here to help us with inspections, so what would be your pleasure with Mr. Williams?
Motion.
Motion and second to approve Brett Williams to be able to do inspections. Any further discussion?
I ask that motion include giving the judge the authority to execute a contract with him, because like we talked at the last meeting, if we're gonna allow these folks to come in, we need, by statute, we need a contract with them. We issue a form contract like we've used before. I think the judge has to execute that.
I'm not sure we executed that previous contract, you know, so we need to do that one too.
Is this Brett Williams originally from Pulaski County?
You know, Jimmy, I don't know him, so he called and requested to be that, and I said, well, you're gonna have to prove that you've got your license and your insurance, and he did that.
I think he grew up by Paul's Discount.
I'm not sure, Martin, when
Well, we can get it executed.
on that last one, do I
Yeah,
need to
that's
have
fine.
a vote to?
No, that's fine. As long as they don't mind you gotta sign a contract, I think, so.
It's essentially just, they have to abide by our ordinance and our fees.
Does this make the second one or the third one?
This will be 3 total. We had 1 existing and then 2 new ones.
I must have totally missed that second one.
I guess we need to take a vote on that. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, motion.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We've also got now, we'd like to get permission to advertise, or to submit for a grant, rather, to write. And Leslie found this. It's basically something we had an opportunity last year and we didn't go with it, but it's the rubberized asphalt. And basically, if we will commit to putting 2 miles of chip and seal, 2 miles, then they'll put 2 miles of this rubberized asphalt. It's a test program to see how that holds up compared to traditional methods. So basically, you know, if we'll do 2 miles, they'll throw in 2 miles. So we just want to have permission to do that grant.
Grant, does that?
Yeah, the thing we'd be responsible for is 2 miles of chip and seal somewhere. We'll let you all draw straws to see who gets it.
Why's everybody looking at me? Do we not have a contract with Hinkle Contracting to let them do the blacktop?
Yeah, this is,
Is this going to interfere with that, or are we going to get a lawsuit out of this, or?
I don't
I'm
think-
just asking.
It
I
sounds
don't know.
like this is a product that they would not be able to provide. That's why I don't know anything about it, that's what it sounds like.
sounds like it's a test program, and they're going to give it to us if we'll give them something to compare it with.
Okay.
In other words, Hinkle would do the chip and seal part, which would not interfere with anything. And then the other is a test product made out of basically rubberized, and yeah. Like, it's like the crumb rubber, but it's
Mixed with asphalt.
it's
so-
mixed with asphalt, and it's a pilot project to see how it holds up in this weather. And it's worked out well for some counties. They did the project, they did the test project last year also, and they did it in 4 counties, and it worked out very well.
Does Hinkle do chip and seal?
Yeah.
Motion to apply for grant.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda then will bring us to our department reports. I've got our jailer with us today. You want to speak to the court about your budget and other stuff? Would you come up to the podium, please? Ross has been getting on this.
How did you go?
We've got before each one of you our proposed budget for 2017, 2018. You'll notice there are some changes in there, so you just have to look at it, go over it, decipher it, get back with us, let us know what you want to do. If you've known in the past, every budget that I've ever done, this is the figures that we take in, the figures that we spend out. I don't pad it anyway, like everybody says to do. I just put it out there what it is. This is what it costs to run the jail. Nothing else that you can do with it. It's just what it is, so it's for your pleasure.
Deadline for the approval of this budget is,
This is not approval. This is only acceptance. It has to be in your hands by April 1st. And of course, this does meet the deadline, but this is just accepting it. The approval won't come until we do the whole complete budget.
thank you, jailer. Clyde, that's all you back here. Do you have anything today? Linda, you have anything for court today?
I don't, I will compliment Joan on what she said about other counties. We're, like I said at the last meeting, we are blessed here in Pulaski County. So I feel like that, we should be very proud of our county.
I agree.
Public safety, Stacy, would you?
I got a couple of things.
I just wanted to ask the court's permission for, Parker's Mill Fire Department's got 2 trucks they're wanting to surplus. It passed before the Fire Commission last meeting, and they gave them permission through the Fire Commission to surplus, engine 58, engine 57. They're just older trucks, and they are owned by the county, so the money will come back to the county. So
Are they using these trucks now?
they are using them right now, but they're going to surplus them, and then the other, if y'all approve to surplus them, then we're going to, Parker's Mill's asked to purchase another truck. We just want to ask for approval for a bid.
Motion to
package.
surplus him too.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to surplus 2 trucks. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? And did you say you
Then
needed
the
to?
second thing, yeah, is, Parker's Mill's asked permission to, purchase another truck, and we've allotted this in our budget, so, I mean, I just need permission to put together a bid package.
Motion to bid.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to go to bid for a new truck. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Thank you.
That's
Motion
all I
carries.
had. I'll get it.
Next on the agenda then will be our 911 call center. Aaron, did you have anything for us today?
Right now is our grant year with the state for the CMRS board. I'd like to ask the court permission to apply for a grant for, through the state for it's a text messaging system. So whenever you text 911, it comes into our center. It's an interface that will go into our phone system. So we'll have that there so we can respond to you. If you text 911, we can respond back with a text message. So you don't have to call if you're in any situation where you can't call. Just need permission to apply to the grant.
Motion.
Cool.
Second.
Motion and a second
Really
to
cool.
apply for the grant for this texting program. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. I've got one thing, and I probably should have brought this up under Stacy. I want to alert the county again. You know, we've already told them in a public service message about our code red system. We want to encourage all of our county residents to sign up for code red. Would you speak to that a little bit, or whichever one would have more details for us? Because what we have basically, you know, in decades past, we've had the warning sirens, and basically we've got newer technology that if everybody will use new technology, it'll be more effective, more efficient. Lightning storms are constantly successfully putting our sirens down, and with our new, I guess I'll call it a directive to go to a narrow band instead of an analog system with our repeaters. What that's done to us, it says we're gonna have to spend $600 or $700 per siren to go and get those programmed to even cooperate with the new narrowband system. So a lot of things, we want to encourage our county residents to get involved in this code red. So if you want to tell them how to do that, or tell if there's anything I'm leaving out.
The code red system, it's all, when you call into us or whether you go online and sign up for it, it geo-verifies your location. So if you get like say a tornado warning comes to the area, but it's south in the Bronson area, just Bronson's going to get that tornado warning. Up here, up in Eubank, Science Hill, they won't receive that. If you want to sign up, there's links on the Pulaski County government's website, the code red emblem right there at the bottom. Just click on that, takes you straight into the sign up page there. All you got to do is put your name, address, and phone numbers that you want contacted in there. Then contact cell phones, home phones, text messages. There's also a mobile app you can download from I think the Google Store and the iPhone Store, the iTunes. You can download that app there, and at any given time you can open up that app, see all the warnings around you. So they've sent out warnings for Russell County and stuff like that. You can see where the storms are at and how severe those storms are going to be. As soon as the warning comes out from the National Weather Service, the system automatically sends that warning out through the cell phone towers, and it goes to those phones and those subscribers.
Anything I left out as far as the...
Just to touch on our weather sirens, back when we had the tornado drill scheduled and everything, we didn't have any of our sirens go off, and that's when we realized that the problem was we narrow-banded all the fire frequencies. Apparently the weather sirens is still on analog, so it didn't set the tones off. That's when we found out what kind of problem we was gonna have out of them, having to switch them over. So.
Okay, we encourage you, Chris, if you can give them that link and let the county know that that's the best and safest.
And we did do a press release, me and I did, back before the drill actually happened, which generated some, I think we got quite a few people signed up.
Yeah, we got several hundred.
What's the name of that app?
It's just a code red warning app. It's a code red app.
You can even go on Fiscal Court's website, and there's a link in the bottom left page, I think. Just click on code red, and you can enter your phone number and sign up right there.
And this code red system too, for boil water advisories, stuff like that. I do a lot of notifications for boil water advisories in different areas of the county. When the line breaks, they call me. I can do it right there on my cell phone, send that notification for boil water advisories and really anything anybody wants. Missing persons, we do that quite
Certain
often.
areas.
All right, well, thank you, I appreciate you. And that looks like I need to back up, I skipped our road department, so we'll go to our road department here, Jordan.
I just have a couple things. First thing being approval of your road work.
Motion.
Second. I got a couple of speed limit signs on mine.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the road work request. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And then we've got 2 speed limit.
Yes, one on Enterprise Drive and one on Cherokee Trail. Also, please. 25 mile an hour on Enterprise Drive, 20 during school.
Separate them that way.
Yes, you can put a speed limit sign up, and right below it, you can put during school hours, 20 miles per hour.
Go separate, I guess, right? Do them together? Okay, we have a motion to.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Second thing being the approval of 3,000 ton of various rock for the month of April.
Motion. Second.
Motion second to purchase 3,000 ton of rock. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's all. Thank you,
What
Judge.
about Jordan, or mowing tractors? When we gonna put them out?
Mowing tractors, you know, right now we've got I'm using some of the guys in the shop to kind of help get some stuff repaired on them. We've got some bushings and pins and stuff we've been working on, so by the 1st of last of April, 1st of May.
We just don't want to get them behind. I mean,
Try to get them going as quick as we can, because we get
We've got,
behind,
a-
that's.
we've got. a
that grass
bunch
is
of-
already starting to grow.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of good guys that are mowing tractors now, and they've done an excellent job keeping up with their district. I know in your district in particular, he's really, really got a lot of
Does a good
stuff laid
job.
back, and he's been able to make some good progress.
We just don't want to start them out behind. We did that one year and it was all, we never even caught up.
Thank you, Jordan. Danny, solid waste?
Just one thing today, just bring your attention, our household hazardous waste event will be held on Saturday, April the 22nd from 8 to 2. This where people can bring their paint and pesticides, anything like that out. We'll dispose of it for free.
You're awesome, Daniel.
Thank you, Danny. Then will be Adam from Animal Shelter.
I don't have anything today, sir.
I'm gonna skip Joan and go to Carolyn first. Carolyn's with us today from Tourism.
I'm here.
Podium.
Last time I was here, I told you we were headed to boat and travel shows, and we did. We went to Ohio, Louisville, Lexington, and Indy. And what we normally do is we order a 2-year stock of brochures that are sent out, and they're not dated, so that they're a good 2-year shelf life. And the state ask us to do that, ask all tourism offices to do that. So we ordered 75,000, and last year they lasted us up until about October of that second year, and then we had to reorder. So this year we ordered those 75,000, and for January and February and up through about a week ago, we had already given out 20,000 of those, which just tells you people want the information. They really want the information. And we did in excess of about right at 14,000 in boat and travel shows. We've got distributors that go to lodging facilities, restaurants, and things like that. Up and down the interstates, they've done about 3,000. And then our office has done 4,300 in just email requests. We send them out on a daily basis. And this month alone, we've sent out to 23 states in Canada, with the number 1 state being Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, big requesters of our information. So it's all good. I wanted to tell you, and I brought a thing, Mr. Lincoln is in at the battlefield, and this evening he will have a public presentation. He's an excellent speaker. It's a really good event. We took him out to dinner last evening and had good conversation with him. It's at the Mill Springs Battlefield tonight, 6:30 to 7:30. If you've not been and listened to him, he is excellent. The other thing is we've got Crappie USA coming in April 7th and 8th, and they will have about 90 boats in. They're two-member teams, so they're going to be staying in all of our lodging, and a lot of those come in and stay the whole week. With Crappie USA, you can fish that week. Now, there's another bass tournament coming in, and it's FLW. FLW fishermen cannot fish that week. So we've got a lot of crappie people coming in, and they'll be in from 10 states, from New York to Florida and everywhere in between. So we're looking forward to that. The kids' rodeo is Saturday morning. It is the 8th. So if you've got any kids that like to fish, we'll be up at Ruckles Pay Lake, and there's always lots of prizes, lots of fish, and it's really a good event. And they register at 8 o'clock, start fishing at 9, fish 9 to 11. Then, of course, Summer Nights Cruise starts in April 22nd. They'll be starting their season off. And May 9th through the 11th, we've got Kentucky Travel Industry Association coming in. It is a spring forum, their spring forum that I did an RFP for 2 years ago. And you do those 2 years out to get them in. We will have 150 to 200 tourism professionals, including marketing vendors. And those marketing vendors are Southern Living will be here, Garden and Gun. It's all good for our county. Hal Rogers is going to be the keynote speaker on the 10th, and so it will be a really, really good event. We've got field trips for students that are studying to be tourism marketing professionals. We'll go out to Lease Ford Marina Resort. We'll go out to Haney's Appledale Farm and to the battlefield. On the 9th, it brings them in early. We've got events the night of the 9th at Jarfly and also the night of the 10th at Lease Ford Marina Resort. And then the Spring Forum ends at noon on the 11th. Then, of course, we've got Memorial Day weekend coming up, and that starts our season, and we're ready. We are ready. I'm really excited about the beach, but there is the Rattlesnake Ride in June, Master Musicians Festival, Mud Mayhem and Fun, and Summer Nights Cruise going right on through. I did pass out to you a list of the events, and it's a pretty long list. It'll take you up through April of next year. May 10th, we should have new numbers for last year. You know, last year our numbers was visitors came to our county and spent $125.4 million. And we anticipate that number is going to increase when we get those numbers around May 10th of this year. There is one issue that we deal with on an ongoing basis. It's not just us, it's all over the state of Kentucky, and I call them rogue transient places. And it is like people that are going through Airbnb, vacation rental by owner, home away, and others. And we seek them out. My front-end staff looks on a monthly basis to see if she can find those that are not signed up to be a transient rental. They're not collecting state sales tax, and they're not collecting the Kentucky 1% tax. So we strive to work on that, but we still know that there are a lot out there. The last month we found about 8 that were renting, and it's really unfair for the person next door that's renting to be collecting that 10% tax. And, you know, state sales tax helps us all, and the transient tax is our marketing dollars, and the transient tax for the state is their marketing dollars. We fall so far behind the other surrounding states, but one of those reasons is not collecting the tax that we duly deserve. So we work on that continuously, and the state works on it continuously, but they're still out there. So that's one of the issues that we have. Airbnb is being addressed all over the country, and if you look at Airbnb in our county, you'll find that there are a lot of them out there. So that's about all that I have. It's all good. We're ready.
And when did you say Lincoln was going to be out here?
He is there tonight. He is there tonight. 6:30 to 7:30. There's a gentleman from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yes, I've seen.
He is great. Last night at dinner, he was, you know, of course, telling a story, and he was in Mr. Lincoln person, and then I said, he was telling me about his wife, and I said, wait a minute, is this you personally, or are you still Mr. Lincoln? He said, no, this is personal. So, there you go. That's all I have. Any questions?
Looking forward to a good year in tourism.
It's going to be good.
We all know that's our biggest export here in Pulaski County, so we've got to make the most of it.
We are so happy that the beach, I did go out and look at the beach. It does have those big trenches in it, but hopefully those are going to be taken care of.
We did, they installed the sand, and then that big rain came, and then we noticed that we were getting runoff from the parking lot, so we dug a trench above the beach to drain the water away, so that problem should be solved now. But yeah, trial and error. First week of putting it in, and we fixed that problem, so we're ready for the water to come up and the people to use it.
We're kind of new at beaches around here, aren't we?
We're new at beaches.
Yeah. You know, Crappie USA, we moved to Pulaski County Park because the FLW needed to go out of Burnside. All of their boats go out one place, so they needed that. But had good conversation with a couple of fishermen yesterday, and they said, we think that's an excellent move, and we will not be surprised that we don't continue to use that. And of course, 2018 in December or in October we have the Classic, which will bring in about 200 fishing boats, and so we're looking forward to that.
Hey, before we leave the beach too, I feel like I need to thank the Leadership Lake Cumberland class that worked so hard on that project. They raised all that money, and what you see down there is a gift to Pulaski County from Leadership Lake Cumberland, and I want to applaud them for seeing that project through and doing that. It's going to be a benefit to our visitors. We couldn't have, county couldn't have done that. We thank them for doing it.
It is an often asked question, is there a beach where we can, enjoy around Lake Cumberland? So we were very pleased to contribute $5,000 to that venture, and we think that it will be a great asset. Thanks.
Thanks, Carolyn. Brings us into Treasurer Joan, would you like to?
I have nothing.
Nothing today?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, that's first, I believe. I'm glad, I'm glad everything's good. But
Except it's budget season. If there's anyone that needs to get a budget request in, they need to get it in soon, because I will start next week, hopefully.
all right, then citizens' comments, we reserve this time for people who'd like to address the court. We just ask that in order to be on the agenda that you contact our office the day prior so we can put you on the agenda, and then we ask that you keep your comments relevant and timely. But we don't have any signed up today, so.
Judge, I think we need to cover this fire protection service agreement with the city.
Okay, well, we've got a couple issues, and the reason I wanted to wait, we had a meeting that you were there, you and me and Joan and Mike were there. And at that meeting, we agreed to purchase a fire truck or give money towards the purchase of a fire truck, and also to have an agreement for our SRT. And we've got one of those agreements signed, but not the other one. So I want to get both of those signed if we can, and do that as a package deal. I think the timing of it was before the budget season rolled over. So as long as we do it before the new budget comes in, I think we'll be fine. But we have two agreements that we need to move together, I think.
Can we have that ready for next meeting?
I don't see any reason we.
Martin, do you know anything about this, or have you been in on any of this or anything?
I wasn't in on any of the negotiations. I've reviewed the contract and talked to the judge about it. The way well, it's not a contract, it's an interlocal agreement. And I think the judge, excuse me, I think the judge's issue with it is in paragraph 3, where it says the purpose of purchasing the $375,000 for the purpose of purchasing firefighting apparatus and equipment, including but not limited to fire engine truck as needed by the city, etc. The judge asked me about should there be language in there that money, that the county will pay the deposit on the fire truck, and then whatever's left when the fire truck arrives, pay the remaining money toward the fire truck. I think he wanted a provision in there basically saying all this money will go toward the purchase of the fire truck.
That wasn't an agreement that we come up with the mayor, though.
Yeah.
No, that's what he's saying, that wasn't in the agreement, that
Yeah.
he thinks
No.
it needs to be.
And Carrie actually Carrie Weiss sent me an email saying that she wants to get together again and get on the same page. My understanding, Jimmy, was that we were going to purchase a new truck, but $375,000 was not enough to do that. And so we were going to give that towards a new truck. But then in this language, it says
The language goes on.
may or may not be a truck.
Yeah. For the purpose of purchasing firefighting apparatus and equipment, including but not limited to a fire engine / truck.
So I think my understanding of that meeting was they needed a truck, and we were going to give them money to buy a truck. And I think when the fire commission voted, Stacy, you tell me if I'm wrong, that was their understanding as well.
Stacy, did you guys agree to pay this money for this out of the fire commission, is that correct?
We did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because I had a couple of firemen, a couple of chiefs to call me about it, and
Didn't it?
We had a fire commission meeting, our regular fire commission.
But in addition to that $375,000, there was also that second agreement that they would also agree to let the special response team
You have that agreement.
work in the city.
You have that agreement, Stacy.
That agreement.
And we would like to get both of those, because that's when we left that meeting, was both of those agreements, and we've only received one.
Is that the
One that
SRT?
Doug should have already emailed you.
Yeah, he did. Doug sent me this.
That should be their protocol for everything. This is the only copy I got.
Forward what
I'm fine, just as long as you guys are okay with it,
We was expecting this agreement to be assigned, expecting both of them to be signed at the same time. That was, one.
City, let's see. Carrie told me that they had approved, and she emailed me this copy that shows the judge's, or the mayor's signature that they approved it, I guess, at their March 13th meeting, maybe? So they've approved the interlocal agreement. I don't know about the SRT.
Stacy and Tiger was telling us at that meeting, it'd probably cost us $1 million if we have to go out here and build a firehouse so to remedy that, we thought this was a much better deal to have to do this $375 and the extra during the year. And I think it'll save us a whole lot of money. And actually, in my opinion, what we're after is a service of getting this area protected. It don't matter when we get the fire truck and what kind it is. I think we need the service to cover that area and not be concerned as much about the day we ordered the fire truck.
That's the first I've heard about the $1 million to build a place. When did that wasn't in that meeting we had? Was that another discussion?
Wasn't that,
That was something different. Tiger was just telling us that.
yeah, maybe
back
Tiger's telling us.
A month ago when this
First I've
come
heard
out.
that figure thrown
Well, I
out.
think what the judge is saying here is it needs to be planned or what they're gonna spend the money on instead of just miscellaneous stuff for the fire department. They can go out and buy whatever they want to with the $375,000 if we give them, is that? not right?
They're providing the service for us, it don't matter what you spend it on, in my opinion.
And the money, under this interlocal agreement, the money is due and payable in full, the way it's written, to the city upon it being executed. Once the court approves it, if you approve this particular agreement, then the total amount would be due to the city.
In my opinion, we're not on the same page because I left that meeting thinking we were going to put money towards a truck, and I'm being told now that that's not necessarily the case, and I've got a problem just giving $375,000 when the fire commission voted on giving it for a truck, and
Is that what
our
your guys'
meeting we left
understanding was
giving
on
it to a truck, and now we're not
Was it your understanding
necessarily going to
that
get
you were
one.
giving them $375,000 to buy a truck? Or you just
Yes,
giving
sir.
them $300,000 to do whatever they want with it?
Actually, that was the price that the mayor came up with and that we agreed on was $375,000, and that was for the purchase of a fire truck and equipment to go on it. And I think the mayor also stated that he had $160,000 to put with that. And along with that $375,000, the fire commission agreed to where we pay each fire department right now $36,000 annual. They wanted to bump theirs up to $50,000, and the fire commission agreed to that also, which would be a $14,000
So in your
increase.
agreement, you're saying it is for a truck?
That's what I was under the understanding, that's what the fire commission was.
It was for a truck, but $375,000 won't buy the truck.
Right, but the
So-
$375,000 that he's given in his contract says it will go towards a truck.
That's what the mayor agreed with,
Or stuff for the
$375,000.
truck.
For the truck or fire equipment for the truck.
I wouldn't give $350,000 for a house that wasn't built. I'd want to be able to move into it when I pay the money, and that's my problem, giving the money before we see a truck. But if you all would like to go forward with this.
If we wait on them to build the truck, they're 6 months out to a year of getting the truck. If they have to build a new truck, right? I mean,
Yeah, unless they can buy a demo truck or
Buy a
something.
demo.
That's
They have to
what
order a
Parker's
truck
Mill is
today.
actually looking at, buying a demo truck so they can get it like now, so.
One of my solutions to that was we'll make the down payment, get it started, and then when it comes in, we'll pay the rest of what we owe. But I just want to make sure the money we give goes towards.
I think the problem is they have it figured into this year's budget, and that's.
Yeah, we
it
had
was
it.
figured in
But now I
the-
understand the SRT agreement. I mean, I think that we could do both of them at the same time.
Yeah, because we spoke
think
to the
that-
mayor about the SRT agreement, and there were
Yeah.
some discrepancies about the SRT responding into the city, and
So hopefully they can do that one, their next meeting.
You
and then
okay
we
with
can-
giving them the $375,000 today, the way it's,
That's up to you all. I mean, I just know what our agreement was $375,000, and they was gonna buy a fire truck and
Yeah.
equipment.
Is that reflected in your minutes, Stacy? Do you all keep minutes?
Yes, sir. And that's the way I explained it to the fire commission members at the meeting was
Go
that
toward a fire truck?
that would go
And the
towards
equipment
fire
for
truck.
that truck?
Yeah, I mean.
I would suggest that fiscal court then would need to approve an agreement that's consistent with what the fire commission approved.
Basically, our minutes should reflect that we will be giving $375,000 to the city of Somerset for the purchase of a fire truck. And it'll also reflect that instead of $36,000 annually, they will be bumped up to $50,000, which is paid in quarters.
I think
quarterly.
that unless you all go back and unless you go back and have another vote to articulate basically what's laid out in this agreement, that you're gonna give them $375,000 to purchase firefighting apparatus and equipment, including but not limited to a fire truck. And I think the court's hands are tied. I think you guys have to follow the guidance.
Follow the rule,
Yeah, I mean, the fire commission basically said, here's what we'll,
Our motion that was made was, if I'm not, and I'm pretty sure it was made that to give $375,000 to the city to purchase a fire truck. I'm pretty sure that's what our motion was.
that's what it was,
Seconded
and
passed.
I think this court has to follow that. This, I think it would be improper for you all to approve an agreement that didn't follow the purpose for which the fire commission.
where the money's coming from.
Isn't that basically what we agreed on that day though, Stacy?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this agreement, proposed interlocal agreement, adds to that. It allows the expenditure of the $375,000 for firefighting apparatus and equipment, including but not limited to a fire truck. So I'm not a fireman. I don't know what other equipment that could be, but it does.
Basically, you buy a fire truck and it's plain.
Well, but this
You
is
gotta
not.
add ladders, hose,
But I don't think this agreement is written in that fashion. I think as written, it would allow the city to use a portion of that $375,000 to buy firefighting equipment that's not related to the truck.
yeah, I mean, basically, they wanted to buy a truck and they said $375,000 and that was, we agreed $375,000. If that includes equipment and the truck, then that's fine. If it includes a truck for $375,000, then that's fine too. I mean, that's the terms that they offered, and that's what we said, $375. If they buy a truck and equipment for that, then that's good. I mean, they should be able to do that, but
They're wanting to buy,
depending on what kind of
I
truck.
think
they
they're
get.
wanting to leave the door open, the way I read this, to buy firefighting equipment that's not related to equipment to go on the truck, like suits, helmets, boots, I don't know what all equipment you could buy otherwise, but oxygen tanks, I don't know, but.
And like I said, I don't have our minutes from our fire commission meeting yet, but when I do, I'm sure that I'm pretty sure the motion was made that we would give the city $375.
You want to go back and, you want to check that and
I can.
give us a call?
And I can give you a copy of the fire commission minutes or drop them off to each one of you, whatever you need.
Either you all, the way I view it, either you all are gonna have to go back and have another vote to expand the purpose that this money could be allocated for, or the court's gonna have to abide by what you all voted on the first time.
And basically, I pretty much told the fire commission what we agreed on that day, and that's what I told the
Fire
fire
truck
commission.
and
Yeah,
equipment for the fire
and
truck.
equipment, if the funds is there out of the $375,000. I mean, we're all on the same page here, so.
Well, are you all okay with, if this court were to, if this agreement gets changed to just reflect the fire truck and equipment for that truck?
Yeah, that's.
What's the
That's fine.
commission's thoughts on?
That was our intention anyway, was a fire truck and whatever, equipment or fire truck and equipment, $375,000. That was a total, that was.
Right,
the-
and you all
the
need to
mayor
write it out,
gave
it needs
us,
to come
we
out of your
agreed to.
budget this fiscal year.
Yeah.
The total does.
Yes, sir.
One thing I'm trying to avoid is what we dealt with for the last several years, even before I was here, was the fleet of our EMS was being neglected, ignored, and units were not being replaced. And we were given money and the units were not getting replaced. Well, I don't want to see that happen with our fire trucks too. If we're given money, I would like to see vehicles that our first responders can use and protect our citizens. I don't want to, and I don't want to say in good faith, here's $375,000, we hope you buy a truck with it. I'm not good with that. It's bad business to give your money before you have your.
Well, I think the contract that Martin's talking about will take care of that.
If they'll agree to it.
Yeah.
I had communicated with Kerry Weiss, the city attorney, and indicated we wanted language in this interlocal agreement that reflected what the judge wanted. And she sent me a communication back and said that she'd met with the mayor and this was the way it needed to be. I mean, that's not a quote, but that's basically what she said.
And one other thing, Martin, the mayor did request that this truck be put in the city's name, which, like, right now, that was fine with us too, so, because right now, some of the trucks that they got's in the fiscal court's name, we're covering insurance on, so.
Let's see. Quote anyone. Harry said this communication came in on Friday. She said, I spoke with the mayor yesterday evening. He's not willing to change the language as it is written because he says the fire commission wanted to give the city the $375,000 due to the city taking care of the coverage area, and that everyone agreed that the money would be for the fire department use only, but that it would be the city's decision whether to use the full amount for a truck or putting it toward a more expensive truck or using it to go toward a less expensive truck and using the leftover amount to pay for other equipment as may be needed. I think that's what the commission, the mayor, was talking about when they met on it. I wasn't present, but that was the mayor's impression of what the money was supposed to be used for. He doesn't want to limit it to just being paid to truck vendor.
We met in our meeting there, basically, the number 400,000 was first thrown out. We countered and said 350,000 and ended up at 375, and the mayor said, that's not going to purchase what we need. He said, it's going to cost more than that. So we said, well, that'll go towards it. He didn't say anything about a lesser expensive truck. He said about a more expensive.
For a truck?
Yeah, that's what we talked about at the meeting, buying a truck and equipment to go on.
Equipment, yes.
Yeah. And it didn't say apparatus, we didn't have that word in it, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that that's different than what we talked about. But, at our meeting, the full intention was to buy a truck, more or less $375, and if they wanted to buy a $600,000 truck, they could take our $375, put it with it, and buy what they wanted.
Well, this
He
agreement.
never said to buy a $200,000 truck and use the extra, though. He said, if I pay more, I want to.
He did say that he could buy a truck and they'd have money to put equipment like that away, didn't he?
Yeah, he said
And
that
if
they
he
had
talked to council into buying a
160,000.
cheaper truck.
Yeah. Yeah, because we even threw out some truck prices on some demos, and Tiger had
Or
some
if
truck
we could buy
prices.
two
and everything
trucks
else.
for $375, we said.
Yeah, and then he said we could buy 2 trucks.
If this language were just changed to say equipment for the truck, then I think that's what everybody's understanding was from what y'all have all said. And I can go back to Carrie Weiss and present that to her. Now, if the mayor says no, then he says no, I guess, but.
That's what we agreed to, a truck and then equipment.
If there's excess left over, whatever they
want to spend.
$375,000 is basically supposed to pay for a truck and equipment.
Equipment for the truck.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Equipment for the truck.
You can get a demo truck, I believe Tiger told me, for $275 that day. They had a demo truck.
Yeah.
But he didn't think that they wanted that demo truck.
It's like Jimmy said, but what we're not discussing, but you all voted to do that with the continuation of the city to do, it's about the coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the coverage.
Well, by law, he's got to cover anyway. That's an agreement they signed, and they've got to cover. According to
Till July
Stacy
1.
and Tiger. I think, until it changes, I think
They
they
can
have
get
to
out of
provide
it.
coverage.
I mean, they can.
I think they signed something at the state, and I approached this with
That's-
Tiger before you were here, and he
those are
said
all
they
the
have
fire
to provide
districts.
coverage.
Yeah, what the fire districts are is in Frankfurt, and that's what's been established for over the years, and I mean,
You know, if they don't have a truck to provide coverage with, then that's another thing. So that's the purpose of us to get them a truck, you know, and I want to see,
I mean,
if we're gonna
just
give them the
up-
money, I want to
we're
see a
just trying
truck.
to uphold we're just trying to uphold our end of the bargain, and what we agreed on is giving them a truck, $375,000 and going from $36,000 a year to $50,000 a year. So, the language is wrote different, like you're saying, so that they could take that money and spend it on something else, but, you know.
Well, you
and
get
that-
can you get the minutes for us then and let us,
Yeah, and that interlocal agreement was for 5 years is what they was asking, so. But yes, sir, as soon as I can get the, fire commission minutes, which I don't think, I've not got them yet, but I will get them.
I think we all want good coverage, good equipment for our first responders, and we want to have a good working relationship, but I think it's just,
Doing all this is, you know, showing good faith and everybody working together for the whole county and, keeping everybody up to par on equipment, as, you know, the city's been needing a truck for a while. We're just trying to help through the fire commission to do that and provide what we feel like we need to provide for them.
So the fire commission thinks they need a new truck, so we need to make sure it's for a new truck.
Yes, sir, that's what our agreement was, right, Jim?
Yeah, but he also told us that day that doesn't necessarily mean that new truck will go to, that area that belongs to us. You know, they may put that fire truck somewhere else and then it just run out to our area once in a while, so,
Sure, but at least they would have an extra truck to go in.
yeah.
Yeah, their trucks.
But I think that was his full intention. He just added some words in there like that apparatus. If he'd have said truck right there, we'd.
kind of vague, wouldn't it?
Huh?
It's just kind of vague, the words
Yeah.
they put in there.
So what you want to do, Jim, you want to hold up for 2 weeks and get his?
Well, yeah, I'll go along with that, but we don't need to let this thing expire and
Absolutely not.
not
We need to
get the
get on this as
service.
soon as possible.
You know,
We
just
need to
like
make
I
sure
told
that-
you, it's a service of that area we gotta see continues. It'd take us a year to even build a facility and get fire trucks in. We don't have time to let it.
Have we not been taking care of it in the years past?
No, they have been.
City has always took care of all that they annexed.
He had a big map, Glenn.
It's just their fire, it's their
There's a
fire
big
district.
area
It's what
that's
they're-
outside the city limits.
City-county district's what it is.
That's county property, yeah.
Well, and, you know, this, you can read this language in the agreement when it says included, but not limited to a fire truck. The included part means, in my mind, legally, that they have to buy a fire truck. But then if there's money left over, they can use that money to purchase other.
Apparatus.
An apparatus. Apparatuses.
They need. I understand, yeah.
Apparatus.
Fire truck,
Apparatus,
fire truck
yeah.
basically is an apparatus, that's.
Yeah.
It's
So,
fire
I
truck
mean, you can,
apparatus, so.
included but not limited to, I think, the way I interpret it. They have to buy a fire truck, but then if there's money left over, they could use it for other items that are still related to fire.
That's what we intended for
Firefighting.
that.
Yeah.
Buy a fire truck, or if they got less than fire truck.
I think the judge wanted to pay the money directly to the vendor, both the deposit and then when the truck came in.
I just don't want to give a check for $375,000 and this time next year, we're asking where's the fire truck? I don't want to get in that situation. Why not just say, hey, it's good business to pay for it when you get it? I mean, what's wrong with that? I don't like to issue $375,000 of taxpayers' money for something that we don't know when we're going to have it.
You may be right about putting up a deposit for it or pay for it when you get it, but, you know, if you go down to buy a new car and you order a new car, you have to pay part of it down right then, or the biggest part of it, and then pay the remaining part, which is what you said at first. You know what I'm saying? Not when we get it on premises, because they're not gonna build you a fire truck on your, saying you're gonna buy it. You know, we'll have to put up some of the money first, or something, because they won't.
I'm fine with it, I just,
I guess there has to be something said for good faith. If we don't have enough faith in to do it, we probably don't need any of the agreements.
I mean, we've got reasons not to. I'll leave it at that.
What's your pleasure, guys? I don't care.
We can wait 2 weeks, and that way we'll get this other agreement brought into the picture too, and do them both at the same time.
Well, and I think something y'all need to be addressing in the 2 weeks is, even if this language is okay, as far as, the fact that it's included but not limited to language, if you're okay with that, then you need to probably go back to the mayor and find out how the money's to be paid, because as it says right now, it's $375, you know, stroking check.
That was the agreement.
If you're not comfortable with that, then maybe you can renegotiate.
Can we accept this with saying that, that will be changed in the agreement?
I would rather not. I'd rather wait till we have time. Because the city council already accepted this, so.
$75,000. Vote on that for sure.
Identified as a truck, though, ain't it, Stacy?
I'm sorry.
It's identified as a truck.
Yes, sir.
First thing you need is minutes.
Yes.
Address this in two weeks if we get everybody together.
You guys has been talking to the mayor, not me, so don't look at me on this one.
I'm fine with 2 weeks for you, Mike, and get both of those agreements in.
Thank you, Stacy.
No further business in, I take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Ready to go, buddy?
Yeah, but they don't call me about 12. Oh, I see.